And we are live. Welcome back to Takes by Fans. We got a great show for you today. As always, we are live every single day at noon Eastern. If you want to watch live, head over to twitch.tv/Takes by Fans. If you want to watch but not live, head over to our YouTube channel, Takes by Fans. We post all of our shows and clips of the show there on a daily basis. And if you just want to listen, we are on podcasting apps, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, iHeartRadio. So, however you want to watch or listen, we've got you covered multiple ways. Alrighty, today is a big old Friday coming off of a wild April Fool's Day. Y'all get fooled yesterday? Because I did a little bit. We'll talk about that in a little bit. So we'll update on the Strahan scandal, potentially. We got an update on that. We're also going to be doing our NBA Power Rankings. Today's Friday, so we do that every Friday. So we got a new top 10, man. And do we have a new number one? Can anybody be better than the Nets going into they were the number one seed going into this week, so we'll see if anybody can claim their spot. And then we are also continuing with our NFL draft countdown, looking at an NFL draft prospect every single day. We looked at who did we look at yesterday? Michael Carter. We looked at running back from North Carolina, but there's a better running back from UNC that I think we're going to be a little bit more impressed with, because we looked at this man's tape yesterday and we weren't really impressed. But today we're looking at Javonte Williams, the other running back from UNC, who, like I said, I think we're going to be a little bit more impressed with when we watch his tape. So we're going to be looking at that man today. Obviously still bringing down the NBA from last night because we hit our money maker. Oh my goodness, we were feeling so good. We had 4 picks going on yesterday, and every single one of those bad boys hit. Even our best bet, where we told you to bet the house on Nuggets -2, and we even got a surprise with it because we thought Paul George wasn't going to play, but we still felt confident with him even playing with the Nuggets -2. Man, oh man, did we call it? Nuggets get the win. I think they win by 7, so perfect there. But anyway, let's jump right into it today with our stories of the day, and here we go. This one caught me, folks. This one made my heart sink a little bit. George Kittle tweets out yesterday on April Fool's Day, next chapter, ... thanks to the faithful for all the support, #Duval, with a Photoshop image of him in a Jaguars jersey, saying that he basically got traded and that he's not going to be with the 49ers anymore. Now, this one definitely made my heart sink. As soon as I saw it, I'm like, oh my goodness, because this would make sense why the 49ers jumped up to number 3 in the draft, because if they're going to lose a tight end, then they can go get Kyle Pitts at number 3. So for that split second, I would say for a full second, I was like, oh my goodness, this is real, and everything makes sense. It all adds up. But then obviously you do a little bit more digging and you see it's fake. But this one got me. So shout out to George Kittle for the good April. I mean, everybody wants to be fooled on April Fool's Day at least once, right? Nothing big, nothing major, but like, hey, your shoe's untied. Oh, it's not really. Ha ha ha. Oh, your favorite player got traded. Oh no, he didn't. Ha ha ha. That kind of fun. But when it's April Fool's Day and you've been around, when you've been around the block. When you've been around the block a little bit, you know what to expect. You can't really trust anything on April Fool's Day, so you kind of lose some of the April Fool's Day magic. But George Kittle brought the April Fool's Day magic back to us yesterday. Alrighty, but guess who did it? Guess who didn't pull the wool over our eyes or make us kind of feel that April Fool's magic? It's this man, Michael Strahan. So, what was this? March 30th, 2 days before April Fool's Day, Michael Strahan says, I did it, I fixed the teeth, and he has this great production here, this minute video. He went to the doctor. He went to a doctor's office on 2 different days just to film this, and look how clear this video is. This is a good camera right here, folks, and I couldn't believe it. And they got this man biting down on the guck that makes an implant of your teeth. He went through the entire thing, folks. So I was expecting it to be either real or a good prank that has great production value at the end of the thing. So we weren't really buying into this BS right here. Like we said, we thought it was a little bit too overdone, which when we look at how we announced it, we are going to determine that this was kind of great quality right here, just kind of the setup. But yeah, so March 30th, he says, hey, I fixed the teeth. We weren't buying it. We saw right through it. We saw some comments of the people eating it up. This girl's even posting her gap too. All right. People posting their gaps here in the comments. People are like, oh, you do you. Here's another gap right here. Look at that one. So people showing their gap in solidarity of Michael Strahan. This man showing his gap. Look at this man. Never, ever. I could park a car in this bitch and I love it. Hope you like the new look. So this man, everyone's doubling down on their gap, saying they would never do it in the comments. And then yesterday, the big reveal. How was Strahan going to prank us? Well, it was real lame, folks. I didn't even see this. This did not come across my screen at all yesterday. I had to go and dig for it today when I was researching today for the show. I had to go be like, all right, whatever happened to that Michael Strahan? Because I didn't hear anything about it. So I was like, oh, maybe it is true. Maybe, maybe the thing maybe he actually did get it fixed. But then this is how he reveals it. It's a 2-minute Twitter video. First of all, he's got a mask over his face. So whatever you think, whatever he was trying to pull off, obviously everybody's seeing right through it. Why would you be speaking in a mask on this video? You give it away right there. And then it's just real lame. He goes into like a minute spiel of like everything that he was saying in the video. Everybody says it was my signature, but I felt like, I just wanted it fixed and blah, blah, blah. Just literally all that. And then at the end of the video, he just pulls the mask down and says, April Fools. Did I fool you? No, you didn't fool us. Damn. I wanted to see this man get hit in the mouth and his teeth fall out. That's what we were expecting. That's what we were waiting for. The big reveal, the big prank, everything that makes it worth it. This makes it not worth it. Why go through this video? I mean, it's worthless now. Look at this. Look at this great setup production right here. I'm in the doctor's. Like this is 8K video right here. I can see all of his pores. Screw his gap. Fix this man's pores right here. I can see them all. So, I mean, you've got this great setup, and then just a lackluster reveal, man. No punch, no trip, I accidentally hit my tooth on the table while tripping. It was literally nothing. It was him pulling down a mask, showing the gap. Disappointed, Michael. I'm disappointed. That's all I got to say. Disappointed in this reveal. How can you have such a promising setup in such an underwhelming reveal? Like I mean, it only got 12,000 likes. You did this for 12,000 likes, Michael. The setup got 109,000 likes. The reveal got 12,000. You did something wrong, Michael. You did something wrong, and I'm super disappointed. So next year, let's try it again. You can keep the same video, but I want to see him take a right hook to the face. His gap reappears, and that's how he kind of April Fools everybody. Now, I'm talking with the mask on. Can you hear me? It is my signature, but I really want everybody to, just believe in themselves and make themselves, how they want to be seen and how they feel on the inside. And the gap didn't really reflect how I felt on the inside and all of that. Psych! April Fools, it's back. Lame. Damn it. Disappointed. At least George Kittle got us. Thank you, George. Thank you for doing April Fool's Day right. This is how you do it. Not the big old setup with an underwhelming reveal. Alrighty. That's all the April Fool's stuff we got. So, until next year, I guess. Alrighty. Let's keep moving on here. All right, we saw this at the end of yesterday's show. Ryan Tannehill. I freaking love this video. If you have not seen this video, look up this video. Ryan Tannehill doing Derrick Henry's workout of what we saw the other day. Here it is of Derrick Henry balancing, doing push-ups on a medicine ball with resistance bands and a chain around his neck. And look how firm, look how in control is this man of his body. Look at this man really kind of not shake at all. Folks, I don't understand how people can do this. It's amazing. This man is a physical specimen, and I'm absolutely all about it. But just look at this man work. He's not shaking. He's not flinching. He's like, yeah, I do this every day. What's the problem here? Y'all don't do this? Oh, yeah, y'all don't do this every day? Oh. Okay, I thought this is something just we all do every day. I thought the chain, me putting on the chain was something different, but okay, all right. Y'all don't even get on medicine balls to do push-ups, all right. So we saw Derrick Henry do that workout, absolutely impressed. And then we get Ryan Tannehill kind of imitating that video yesterday, and he's shaking like a leaf He's shaking like a leaf. His feet aren't even kind of the same like Derrick Henry, so he's cheating a little bit. And then he's even cheating because he's not even doing a real chain. He's got a purse. He's got a purse around his neck, and this man is still shaking real heavy over there. So Ryan Tannehill, what a good sport. What a good teammate. And maybe Ryan Tannehill's going to get a little bit stronger. Maybe he is going to kind of follow this Derrick Henry workout. Could you imagine Ryan Tannehill jacked up, slinging the ball like 85 yards next season? So watch out for the Titans. Yeah, they've got a monster running game, but Ryan Tannehill's in the lab with Derrick Henry, so expect some 70-yard bombs next season. The man's going to get right, and that throwing arm is going to be, it's going to be big, folks. It's going to be a beefy arm he's got. So Ryan Tannehill, absolutely magnificent video right here. Love it. This is probably the best thing I've seen on April Fool's Day. After everything that we've seen, this is the best thing. He posted this yesterday. Absolutely fantastic. Alrighty, moving on here. Some draft prospect news, and this could be a little interesting right here. Who does this girl work for? Reporter for Atlanta Falcons. So she says the Falcons and top draft prospect tight end Kyle Pitts believes Atlanta is, quote, pretty interested in him. Says they've already met over Zoom a few times. So, I mean, we really don't have a big need for that Atlanta team. I mean, they've already got the quarterback. They've already kind of said that they're sticking with Matt Ryan. They've got the two great wide receivers. Their defense definitely could be a little bit better, so maybe they go defensive heavy in this draft. But I mean, at number 4, if you get a great tight end, I mean, that offense is gonna be almost unguardable. Julio Jones, Calvin Ridley, Kyle Pitts. Oh my goodness. So I mean, I want him to go to the Dolphins, obviously, because this man's an absolutely fantastic talent. But if this is the direction that the Falcons may be moving in, watch out for that offense, folks. And what do we say that kind of Matt Ryan struggles with kind of just the most is kind of in the red zone, not settling for field goals, getting touchdowns, and having a big old tight end presence down there in the red zone could be absolutely magnificent for Matt Ryan to maybe even rejuvenate his career a little bit there. So we'll see what happens, but the Falcons possibly interested here in Kyle Pitts. Alrighty, Jamar Chase. Okay, we get a little bit of quote by him here. Jamar Chase on being the first receiver drafted, quote, "It's very important for me. I don't want nobody to take that away from me. I'm not letting anyone take it away from me." Alrighty, Jamar Chase or Devontae Smith, who's going to be the first wide receiver drafted? It's going to be one of those two, folks. We know Kyle Pitts is the first tight end drafted. We know Trevor Lawrence is the first quarterback drafted. Now we just need the first running back drafted, Travis Etienne or Najee Harris, and we still don't know the first wide receiver drafted, Jamar Chase or Devontae Smith. So, I mean, Jamar Chase, the only red flag that we have on this man is that he didn't play last season. That's it. He had a breakout season in 2019. Absolutely magnificent season here. 1,700 yards. 1,700 yards on only 84 catches. That's 21 yards a catch, folks. That's got to be a record somewhere. That's amazing. And 20 touchdowns. I mean, just absolutely magnificent season there. But he didn't play last year. So was that a one and done? Was he going to get better every single season? That's just the only red flag that we have on the man. That is it. That is it. The man can play. We saw that man play in 2019. That's it. Or do you go with the proven talent of Devontae Smith, who has literally played all 4 years at Alabama, got better every single season, and won the Heisman here in 2020? So we've got a wide receiver that hasn't played in 2020 or a Heisman winner that did play in 2020. That's really what it's going to come down to. Which one do you feel more confident in? Do you want to take kind of the proven talent that we've seen over 4 years, or do we want to kind of take a little bit of a gamble because we've only seen this man play one season? So it's going to be real tough. If I had a draft, I think I'm going Devontae Smith. I'm just going to go the proven talent. That's the only thing. That's the only thing right there. That's the only real reason why I choose Devontae Smith over Jamar Chase. That's really it. But we'll see where he goes. He wants to be drafted number 1 overall. Maybe you should have played this season. Maybe that would have helped you out a little bit more. But, I mean, everybody loves this man. Everybody's falling in love with his athletic ability, and so did I. I mean, I love watching this man play, absolutely. I just got to go with the proven talent. I want proven talent. Show me what you can do. Let's see if you can keep on doing it, because one and done, I mean, what is that going to help us do in this league? Nothing, really. Alrighty, so we'll see if he's going to be wide receiver 1 taken in the draft, folks. We're 27 days away. So close. We're in the same month. We're in the month. So let's keep getting closer here, day by day. Alrighty, well, there was obviously no international games this season in the NFL because of the whole COVID situation, but the NFL is planning to return to international games this season. So, Atlanta Falcons will play at Tottenham Hotspur Stadium in London in 2021. Now, this is a little promising, right? I would say, if we're just kind of looking at sports and COVID and kind of seeing the similarities between those two, basketball was the first thing to get canceled. That's how we know that COVID was kind of a real big deal. It's shutting down billion-dollar sport entertainment industry. This thing must be real. This thing must be, I don't want to say real. We know it's all real. We know it's real. So let me not say that. We know it's it's going to be a problem. That's when we really knew. I think that's when it really kind of sank in for a lot of people, at least for me. This is I almost said this is real again. We know it's real, but this is going to be a problem. Once basketball got shut down. So basketball had no fans. They did the bubble. That worked out. The NFL, went on without a hitch. They still were playing. Then they slowly added fans into the stands, and that's kind of when we saw, once the NFL started to do that, then we kind of started to see states starting to open up a little bit more, allow more places to open up that were currently closed down. So we kind of saw sports kind of be the main how do I phrase that? Sports was just kind of like the main compass of how COVID was being handled in America, in the United States. So if we're seeing there's going to be international games here this season in the NFL, I think that kind of gives a little bit of hope and a little bit of promise that there's going to be kind of international travel is going to be opening back up. There's going to be a lot more things opening it up because, the NFL is going to want kind of fans in the stands for this game. They're going to kind of want, to celebrate their high-profile international game. So I think this is a promising thing to see right here. If the NFL is going to start having international games, I really think this kind of COVID thing just around the world is going to start to get, easing up a little bit more, if that makes a little bit of sense there. But big news is here that Atlanta Falcons will be playing in London in 2021. So we'll see if Kyle Pitts is over there, over the pond. Alrighty, as soon as I was praising this Bucks team, and I just told y'all I'm going to be a Bucks fan next year because everybody was kind of buying in. Let's go for the repeat. It's not about the money. Let's get rings with Tom Brady while we can, and then after that, we can go and get everything that we deserve money-wise. But there's one person that's not too keen on that idea. Alrighty. So Antonio Brown here. Bucks and Antonio Brown are, quote, not close on a contract number. Antonio Brown earned $2 million last season. So obviously not a lot. We know he had his issues, and this was kind of the first team that, he was able to kind of play a lot of game for us, not just one game and had to leave. Antonio Brown, we know what this man can do. He could be that A1 tier 1 wide receiver that you need on your football team. We've seen him be able to do that. We've seen him get paid. And then we kind of see him hit a little bit of a downfall. And he didn't do too much this season. He barely played this season. He played like 8 games, started 5. He had 4 touchdowns overall. And, he did kind of have solid contribution in the playoff games and in the Super Bowl, so I will give him that. But, everybody else is buying into this team. I'm a little disappointed that Antonio Brown isn't. We haven't really seen him be too much of a team player that much after, leaving the Steelers. It was kind of all about me, really kind of in that last year with the Steelers. It was all about him. And now we see everybody kind of taking less money, everybody buying in for one more season. We just talked about somebody getting signed the other day. But, I'm a little disappointed here. Antonio Brown, the Bucks don't need Antonio Brown 100%. He's probably their 4th best wide receiver option. I know it's crazy to say, but currently what they got, I would probably say he's, they're the last on the wide receiver depth chart. So if he joins the Bucks, fantastic. That's just another weapon. But if he doesn't, I don't think, that hurts the Bucks' playoff chances, Super Bowl repeating championships. I don't think that hurts the Bucks too much if Antonio Brown doesn't return here to Tampa Bay. So we'll keep an eye on it. Obviously we're kind of seeing here Antonio Brown wants to get paid, and the Bucks are like, hey, we literally have no money to give you, so I mean, take it or leave it. We'll give you another $2 million, but that's literally all we can give you. So we'll see what his decision is going to be. Alrighty, here we go. The Lakers are optimistic that Andre Drummond won't miss more than a game or two with his right big toe injury. We saw this man kind of go down in his first game with the Lakers. He ended up losing a toenail, he said. So just a little very minor injury here for the Lakers. But I mean, can the Lakers catch a break? First Anthony Davis, then LeBron James goes down, and then they finally get a piece that makes them kind of viable again in Andre Drummond, and then he gets injured. His big toe, the piggy toe, gets injured game 1. So like they said, only probably a game or 2 games out for this man, so hopefully he can get back on track here and start winning games a little bit more consistently. I mean, they lost the first meeting that he had. Unfortunate, truly unfortunate. But yeah, not going to be out too long for Andre Drummond. Alrighty, and then the last story to talk about, this is why we're going to be watching this man today. I mean, we really didn't see anything great by Michael Carter yesterday, the UNC running back. We called this man the 10-yard man because however he was looking, if he started out on the left side of the field and got all the way to the right, or started on the right and went to the left, or came back all the way to the right side, whatever he did, it always just resulted in only really 10 yards. Nothing really great. He didn't have that elite kind of closing speed, game-breaking speed. He didn't have that great of shiftiness. His acceleration wasn't that great, so we were a little bit, disappointed watching his film yesterday. But this is what we get here today. Javonte Williams had 76 missed tackles last season on the run, so this is just a little bit of a taste in our NFL draft prospect of the day. Look at that big old hit. Oh my goodness. And then he's able to pick up 20 yards, 25, 30 yards, just because nobody can bring this down. Already this one play right here is already impressing me a lot more than what Michael Carter Williams showed us, or just Michael Carter, what Michael Carter showed us yesterday on our draft prospect countdown. So hopefully we get a little bit more craziness, a little bit more big playability by Javonte Williams, the other UNC running back. So that's who we're going to be looking at today in our NFL draft prospect of the day. Alrighty, those are all the stories we needed to cover for today, so let's head over to the NBA. We'll go over what happened yesterday in the NBA. We'll do our moneymaker for today's action. Then we'll head over to our updated power rankings in the NBA. We'll do that, and then we'll head over to our NFL draft prospect of the day to close out the show. So without further ado, here we go. In the NBA yesterday, like we said, we did hit on our moneymaker yesterday. Absolutely fantastic. Feeling so great about all these picks. They all hit. 4-teamer, bingo, bango, yes, sir. So we're back on track. So heed our advice today because we like to streak, folks. We like to go. Once we get that one, we're not going to stop. So if you didn't believe us yesterday, you might want to get back on the train. Might want to get on the train today. So here we go. Wizards-Pistons. Wizards lose to the Pistons by big margin. 29-point loss. Washington only putting up 91 points. Detroit putting up 120. Truly unfortunate there. No Bradley Beal for the Wizards. Which, I mean, it's really no excuse for this Wizards team not to be competitive. I mean, what do the Pistons have? They've got Jeremy Grant. All right, the Wizards have Russell Westbrook still. So this should still at least be a competitive game. But the Wizards get blown out by 30. So let's see who did good here. We'll start here with the Pistons. Saban Lee, 8 points, 7 rebounds, 3 assists, but this is who stepped up right here. Josh Jackson for the Pistons, 31 points, a steal, 4 assists, and 2 rebounds, but he shot 61% on 21 shots and 4 of 7 from 3, so a huge performance by him. Mason Plumlee still did his thing, 13 points, 11 rebounds. Jeremy Grant, very light here, but they still get the win because of what Josh Jackson did. So Jeremy Grant, 12 points, 4 assists, 4 rebounds, very poor shooting night, 28%. And Saddiq Bey, once again, a little bit of a poor shooting performance. I mean, Saddiq Bey, he had like a 2-game stretch that was real good, kind of got us hyped a little bit, but now he's still floundering game after game after game. So truly disappointed here in Saddiq Bey. This could have been a solid team. Jeremy Grant, Saddiq Bey, Mason Plumlee, when they're all kind of on, this is a decent, kind of 3 out of 5 here for a team. But Saddiq Bey barely steps it up. Jeremy Grant's having poor shooting nights. I mean, Saddiq Bey, 11 points, 4 rebounds on 37% shooting and 1 of 6 from 3. Absolutely not great. So the starters, just decent performance out there. Luckily got carried by Josh Jackson a little bit. But look at this bench performance here. 3 players off the bench in 10-plus point category. Corey Joseph, 10 points, 7 rebounds, or 7 assists, and 4 steals. Holy cow. Great night by him. Wayne Ellington, 11 points, 5 rebounds off the bench. And Frank Jackson, 13 points, 2 assists, 2 rebounds off the bench in 21 minutes. So great bench performance here with solid starting potential there. Now with the Wizards, who did not do anything? Well, literally nobody did anything. So we see Josh Jackson put up the 31 points. I mean, the highest scorer of the squad here for the Wizards was Russell Westbrook and Robin Lopez. They both had 16 points. So that's, what they were doing in the scoring department. Cannot trust anybody really to get it done. Usually Rui Hachimura kind of steps up without Bradley Beal in the lineup, but he only had 10 points. He shot 41%, which is not terrible, but still only 10 points. Very lackluster. We need somebody to make up that scoring production without Bradley Beal on the floor. Nobody really did it here. So Russell Westbrook, 16 points, 12 assists, 11 rebounds. He shot 43%, 9 turnovers. Classic Russell Westbrook. I mean, that's not even classic. That's like disgusting Russell Westbrook, because usually he's around 5 or 6, but 9, I don't think he's been that high this season. So not great in the scoring department. Light on the rebound and assists. I mean, we've seen this man put up like 25, 15, and 15 on like 3 turnovers, on 4 turnovers. This is not an acceptable performance with all these 9 turnovers for Russell Westbrook, unfortunately. Jerome Robinson put up 0 points. He only played 9 minutes in the starting 2. Alex Len still in the starting 5, 14 points, 5 rebounds. Rui Hachimura, like we said, 10 points on 41% shooting. And Denny Avdija, 11 points, 10 rebounds. Not terrible. He shot 40% as well. No real great bench performance. No group great bench performance. Like we said, Robin Lopez with the 16 points. Raul Neto had 9 points, but once again, just not matching that scoring output of the Pistons there. Nobody went off. Nobody steps up on this Wizards team. That's kind of like what we're used to for this lackluster Wizards team. So that's why we stay away from these games. We never bet the Pistons. We never really bet the Wizards, and this is why, folks, just not really anything good. I think the spread was like 3, Wizards -3, Pistons +3, and look at this, a 30-point win for the Pistons. So Pistons get the win, 120-91 over the Wizards. Alrighty, then we go to the 76ers, and this was one of our money maker picks, folks. 76ers -9.5, and they win by 20. Easy peasy right there. So 76ers without Joel Embiid, no problem, as long as they're facing a very lackluster team. And like we said, this Cavs team is very, very lackluster. No Jared Allen for the Cavs. No Larry Nance Jr. for the Cavs. I mean, Larry Nance Jr., that doesn't really play any part on kind of our decision, but no Jared Allen. I mean, that's their main big. That's their main offensive scoring big, and that's kind of their third best offensive piece besides Darius Garland and Colin Sexton. So 76ers have no problem winning here. Everybody gets it done. Shake Milton, 27 points off the bench. Holy cow. Very well done. But the starters, we still see Mike Scott in that starting rotation for Joel Embiid. But Ben Simmons, only 5 points, 5 assists. He did have 13 rebounds, though. Shot very poorly. Classic Ben Simmons game of shooting not great, 2 of 11. Seth Curry had a pretty good game, though, so let's shout him out. 19 points, actually the leading scorer for the starters, so I'll take that. Seth Curry, 19 points, 4 assists, 4 rebounds on 46% shooting, and 5 of 10 from 3. Not terrible. Mike Scott, 2 points, 4 rebounds. Tobias Harris only played 15 minutes, 12 points, 3 assists. And Danny Green only put up 11 points, 3 of 7 from 3. Once again, just kind of a classic, a little underwhelming Danny Green performance, just a little bit. So the starters really didn't do anything too great here, but their bench gets it done. That's okay. It's all right. Dwight Howard, 18 points, 15 rebounds off the bench. And like we said, Shake Milton, the 27 points off the bench. So they're able to get it done here. Not the starters, but the bench really steps it up here, able to pull over the Cavs. I mean, and that's why, even without Joel Embiid, even with kind of the possibility of nobody stepping up in that kind of starting offensive lineup, we can still feel good about, betting on the 76ers team against the Cavs, because the Cavs are just so very lackluster in the scoring department, man. So let's see who did good here. Darius Garland, only 6 points. 8 assists. Colin Sexton had 24 points, 3 assists, 3 rebounds, so that's where the scoring really came from, just Colin Sexton. And we can usually always count on him. He's really the only consistent offensive piece here on this Cavs team. Kevin Love starting at the 5 in place of Jared Allen, 13 points, 4 rebounds. Alrighty, I mean, Jared Allen's going to give us like 15 and like 12 or 13, so... Kevin Love tried his best to do what Jared Allen does, but did not. Dean Wade at the starting 4, 16 points, 8 rebounds, and Isaac Okoro, 9 points, 5 rebounds. So not terrible by the starters. I mean, nothing better than what the starters of the 76ers did, but they did not have that great bench performance that the 76ers have. So, I mean, the 76ers team is still kind of sneakily kind of deep, even without Joel Embiid. So that's really why they were able to win this game here. Who we got? Isaiah Hartenstein here, leading scorer off the bench with 12 points and 7 rebounds. Nobody else doing really anything truly too great over there. So Cavs are just lackluster. That's really it. That's the main point of this talk right here of why we like the 76ers and why we bet them -9.5. The Cavs are lackluster offensively. Alrighty, moving on. The Nets and the Hornets. And man, oh man, the Hornets disappointing me a little bit last night. Truly underwhelming offensive performance here for the Hornets, and the Nets get the win 111-89. Now, no James Harden for the Nets, no Blake Griffin for the Nets. It was just kind of Kyrie Irving out there. Not on his lonesome. I mean, the usual suspects of the Nets are still out there, but obviously no KD, no James Harden. So let's start here with the Nets. Let's see what Kyrie Irving did, kind of having to be kind of the true point guard here. How is he going to compare to James Harden when it's just him on the floor? So here we go. Kyrie Irving, 15 points, 8 assists, 11 rebounds on 41% shooting, 1 of 4 from 3. So not a terrible kind of performance here for a point guard. James Harden, these are kind of, little bit of James Harden numbers as well. James Harden would probably have, 12 assists and maybe, 13 rebounds or 11 rebounds. So, Kyrie Irving, a little bit of a discount James Harden out there, but he was able to do enough to, help his team out. So well done to Kyrie Irving. Bruce Brown had to slide over to the starting 2. So he goes 14 points, 6 rebounds on 70% shooting. Great night by him. LaMarcus Aldridge gets the start because no DeAndre Jordan. So LaMarcus Aldridge played 30 minutes out here. 11 points, 6 assists, 9 rebounds. And I mean, everyone's like, oh, why are you worried about LaMarcus Aldridge? He's washed up. He's a scrub. He's all this. Well, he got it done defensively, a plus 22 on the floor. 11 points and 9 rebounds. What more do you want out of this man? Great defense, double-digit points, very close to double-digit rebounds. So, I mean, everybody needs to relax. LaMarcus Aldridge still has stuff to prove and still has, stuff left in the tank. I mean, this is like JaVale McGee right before he got kind of, a little bit lackluster and started to kind of take that starting turn on the downfall a little bit. So, still think LaMarcus Aldridge still has stuff left in the tank here, and he kind of proved it. Played 30 minutes. I think this was his first meeting here with, or the first game that he was playing with the Nets here. So, fantastic work. Alrighty, continuing on, Jeff Green, 21 points, 8 rebounds, 2 steals, 2 assists. Great night by him on 47% shooting again. And then Joe Harris, a little lackluster by him, a little light, 9 points, 6 assists, 4 rebounds. He shot 3 of 9 from 3 and 30% overall. So starting lineup still did pretty good. Basically everybody in double-digit scoring. And then their bench, yes sir, Landry Shamet, 17 points off the bench. Tyler Johnson, 15 points off the bench. So they're still deep, even without Kevin Durant, even without James Harden, even without DeAndre Jordan. I mean, they are still deep out here, man. Oh man, this is why the Nets are probably the best team in the league, folks. We'll see if they lose that title in our power rankings when we get to that segment today. But man, oh man, they're still winning games. Only need one of the big three out there. Alrighty, let's go to the Hornets now, who did not step up this game. Darn. I mean, they were looking good without LaMelo Ball. They were still competitive and still winning most of their games. I think they were like 3-1 without LaMelo Ball, but finally kind of came to an end here. And unfortunately, I don't expect the Hornets to kind of get that magic back and kind of start winning games a little bit more consistently out here, unfortunately. So Devontae Graham here, 13 points, 5 rebounds. He shot 2 of 6 from 3. Terry Rozier went 12 points, 3 assists, 5 rebounds on 36% shooting. Bismack Biyombo, 2 points, 3 rebounds. He only played 10 minutes, though. P.J. Washington, 8 points, 8 rebounds, shot 27%. Gordon Hayward, 13 points, 4 rebounds. I mean, nobody went for that 20-plus. No multiple players went for that 20-plus. So, truly unfortunate here by the Hornets. Just nobody stepped up in the scoring department. Now, off the bench, we get Miles Bridges, 10 points, and Malik Monk, 11 points. Cody Zeller off the bench, also 6 points, 5 rebounds, 2 assists. So, just very, very lackluster performances by literally everybody. The starters, the bench, nobody really truly got it done here. Not like we're kind of used to in their last 4 or 5 game stretch. So, they faced one of the best teams in the league, got brought back down to kind of what they are, what this team actually is without LaMelo Ball. And they only put up 89 points. So we are once again going to have to fade the Hornets kind of a little bit bigly until they can kind of start proving that they can kind of get back to where they were before this Nets game. But truly unfortunate here by the Hornets. Wanted them to be good, but man, oh man, without LaMelo Ball, a little lackluster. Alrighty, moving on to the Heat and the Warriors. And folks, when will y'all learn? Are y'all not learning yet? If it's Jimmy Butler and Goran Dragic, bet the Heat. It's literally that simple, folks. One of our other moneymaker picks here, Heat -3. They win by 7. No problem here. So here we go. Let's talk about it. Heat get the win 116-109 over the Warriors. We weren't sure if Victor Oladipo was going to play or not. I think it was a game time decision. We were talking about it, but that doesn't matter. All we need is Jimmy Butler and Goran Dragic. That is it, folks. So here we go. Jimmy Butler, 22 points, 8 assists, 4 steals, 6 rebounds. Classic Jimmy Butler game all around. Trevor Ariza at the 4 here, still having good production, 10 points, 4 rebounds, we'll take that. Bam Adebayo, 19 points, 6 assists, 8 rebounds. Duncan Robinson, 21 points. What a game by him. Finally, he steps up a 20-point performance by Duncan Robinson, moving over to the starting 2 here. 21 points, 4 rebounds, 3 assists on 4 of 11 from 3. And Victor Oladipo, only 6 points, 5 assists, 2 steals, 3 rebounds, nothing really great. He shot 25%, 0-4 from 3. Luckily, they had Tyler Hero off the bench. 20-point performance by him. Yes, sir. 4 rebounds as well. And then Andre Iguodala putting up 10.6 rebounds in 23 minutes off the bench. So very well done. Multiple 20-point scores here for the Heat. The scoring was on par. The threes were falling. Everybody getting it done. I mean, Duncan Robinson and Tyler Hero both having 20-point games. I mean, that's magnificent. This is what the Heat can be. If those two players play consistently like this on a night-in, night-in basis, night-in, night-out basis, this is what we're talking about. So very well done here by the Heat. Heat -3, no problem. Especially against the Warriors. Who are we afraid of? Who are we afraid of on this team? All right, Steph Curry, that's it. That's really it. So Steph Curry had a great game. 36 points, 11 rebounds. Really a great game. 5 of 11 from 3, 47% overall. He got to the line 13 times, hit every single one of them. Kelly Oubre Jr., lackluster, 8 points, 1 assist, 4 rebounds, 0 of 3 from 3, 36% overall. James Wiseman, 4 points, 4 rebounds, once again, a little lackluster. Draymond Green had 16 points, 8 assists, 10 rebounds. He was also, unfortunately, a -9 on the floor. So, Draymond Green says he's one of the best defenders to ever play the game, but he was the worst defender on the floor right here. Not great. Not great. All right, and then Andrew Wiggins, great performance by him, 23 points, 4 assists, 8 rebounds. He shot 5 of 11 from 3, 43% overall. Once again, he was kind of a -8 on the floor as well. I mean, in a loss, we can kind of expect it, but we would like you to be kind of like what Steph Curry does, a +2 in a loss. James Wiseman even was a -4, even though he played 19 minutes. But so overall, I mean, this Warriors team is really nothing special. I mean, until Kelly Oubre Jr. starts having consistent games, we can never really trust this team too much. That's why I like to shout out Andrew Wiggins a lot, because he's always consistent, and then we still get, some of these games where he's going to put up 20 or more points. We can always kind of really count on him for at least 15, but then we see he can go for 23 here like he did last night. So just really nothing great. Nothing from this bench. I mean, what do we get here? Jordan Poole, 9 points. That's not bad in 12 minutes, but that's really it. There's really nothing great about this bench, or really anything great outside of Steph Curry. Steph Curry, Draymond Green, Andrew Wiggins, that's really all. That's really it. So Victor Oladipo in the Heat, get to the win, 7-point win. Alrighty, let's keep moving on here. The Magic and the Pelicans, and oh no. Pelicans lose 115-100 to the Magic in overtime. Let's shout out the Magic. I mean, like we say, they've gotten rid of everybody. Vucevic, Fournier, Aaron Gordon right at the trade deadline, but they're still kind of winning games. I mean, I think this offense is a little bit better without all those pieces, which is kind of absurd to say. But the Magic get the win, so let's start with them a little bit here. James Ennis III, 13 points, 4 steals, 3 assists, 4 rebounds. Chuma Okeke, 8 points, 10 rebounds. Ken Birch still at their 5. He only played 5 minutes, so 0.0 rebounds. Dwayne Bacon, 14 points, 3 rebounds, and Chasen Randall, 15 points, 3 steals, 2 assists, 6 rebounds. So starters not terrible there, and then their bench, man, oh man, Mo Bamba getting into the mix here, 16 points off the bench, 11 points, 5 rebounds. Terrence Ross, 19 points, 5 assists, and look at this, Wendell Carter Jr., 21 points, 12 rebounds, yes sir. Otto Porter Jr. also playing 20 minutes off the bench, did not play well, shot 25% for only 6 points, but man, oh man, they've got some nice playmakers, some nice players that are using that kind of next man up mentality, elevating their game to kind of get to the starting roster. I mean, you got to start, Wendell Carter Jr. as soon as you can. I would have Otto Porter Jr. also in that starting lineup, but they've got some nice playmakers out here. We'll leave it at that, but they get the win, so very well done. Alrighty, now the Pelicans now. I mean, obviously still no Lonzo Ball, but no Zion Williamson. And, Nickeil Alexander-Walker did decent. He put up 31 points and 8 rebounds and 3 assists. He was also a +6 on the floor, so the defense got it done in a loss. So I'm still not seeing, if Lonzo was playing without Zion Williamson, I don't think Lonzo's going to get us that kind of missing point production that he brings to the table. Also, Brandon Ingram didn't play, so who's going to make up that point? We know it's not going to be Lonzo Ball. He's really not that great of a consistent shooter, an efficient shooter. But Nickeil Alexander-Walker here putting up 31 points. Now, he doesn't have as many assists as Lonzo Ball does, but if you're still making up points in that department, is it big overall that you're kind of sacrificing points for assists here? Also, the defense was still good, like we said, so I'm really not seeing too big of a drop-off here between Lonzo Ball and Nickeil Alexander-Walker, and I got absolutely crushed on, what was it, like 2 or 3 days ago, where we called Lonzo Ball trash, and I posted that to YouTube. I just got instantly obliterated in the comments and in the dislike column. But you're not going to change my mind by bullying me and saying that I don't know what I'm talking about. You're not going to change my mind, folks. We watch every single game. We break down every single game every single day. We kind of know what we're talking about here, and I'm not seeing a big old drop-off between Lonzo Ball and Nickeil Alexander-Walker. I mean, the Pelicans would have lost this game probably regardless, probably even worse, probably not even getting into overtime here if Lonzo Ball was playing without Brandon Ingram and Zion Williamson. I'm not buying it. So Nickeil Alexander-Walker, well done, 31 points, 3 assists, 8 rebounds, a +6 in a loss, 54% shooting, and 4 of 7 from 3. Lonzo Ball is not this efficient, so sorry, not sorry, still, again. And look at this, Eric Bledsoe, he didn't shoot well, but he still put up 14 points, and he had 6 assists. So we kind of started seeing Eric Bledsoe getting a little bit better here, but with Lonzo Ball in the lineup, Eric Bledsoe really flounders every single game. So like I said, I'm not gonna get bullied into changing my opinion here, man. So decent night by Eric Bledsoe. He only shot 38%, but I'll give him the 14 points. That's not terrible. Steven Adams, 8 points, 10 rebounds. James Johnson stepping up in place of Zion, 17 points, 2 assists, 3 rebounds. And Josh Hart stepping in for Brandon Ingram, 14 points and 17 rebounds and 5 assists. So, not a bad job here by kind of the second-tier team, the B squad here of the Pelicans, against kind of a feisty, emerging, newfound talent Magic team that has kind of been thriving ever since the trade deadline for some reason. Jackson Hayes also gets 16 minutes. Wish he kind of got a little bit more. Wish he kind of got the starting nod, honestly. But he had 10 points, 2 assists, and 3 rebounds in 16 minutes off the bench. So not terrible. So unfortunately, Pelicans lose in overtime to the Magic. Alrighty, let's keep moving on here. The last two games, Hawks and the Spurs, and this was another game in our moneymaker, Hawks -1, and it took 2 overtimes to decide a winner here. So here we go. DeMar DeRozan had a game-tying shot in regulation, a nice little 2-point jumper that fell. That goes into overtime, so DeMar DeRozan absolutely clutch. Trae Young had a chance to win the game in regulation. Unfortunately, his shot misses, so he was very not clutch, but he was not clutch in some moments, but overall his game was clutch, so we can't dog that man too hard. Then in the first overtime, Bogdanović has a chance at a go-ahead 3. It goes down, but he did not get it off before the buzzer sound. So that's why it goes into double overtime. Unfortunate there. And then Danilo Gallinari hits the big shot in double overtime. They were up 1. He hits a 3, 4-point lead with about 7 seconds left. So it's game over at that point. So a crazy game here, but the Hawks are able to hold on here to get the win, 134-129, so a 5-point win. We had a -1. Bingo, bango, back at it. Alrighty, so let's start here with the Hawks. Trae Young, 28 points, 12 assists. Yes, sure, he shot 2 of 2 from the 3, 47% overall, and he also scored or assisted on the last 36 points of the entire of the Hawks there. So he wasn't clutch of hitting that kind of last shot in regulation to not go into double overtime, but he was kind of clutch in the sense that he was still scoring in those overtime periods. He was still facilitating the ball. So very well done to Trae Young. All right, Bogdanović here, 28 points, 5 assists, 5 rebounds. Clint Capella, 28 points, 17 rebounds. Solomon Hill filling in for John Collins, who still didn't go, so very well done. I mean, Lou Williams' first game, we're going to talk about him in a second, but no John Collins, and the Hawks are still able to get a win, so nice job there. Solomon Hill fills in, doesn't really do what didn't really kind of make up the scoring production or just kind of the output of production that John Collins brings. But Solomon Hill, 3 points, 6 rebounds, and then Tony Snell, 6 points, 4 rebounds as well. But then their bench, decent performances here. Like we said, Danilo Gallinari hit the kind of game-clinching shot in double OT, 16 points, 12 rebounds. Onyekwe Angankwo, 10 points, 5 rebounds, and only 12 minutes off the bench. And now we get to Lou Williams, his first minutes here, coming off the bench for the Hawks. 7 points, 5 assists on 30% shooting in only 22 minutes. So you bring John Collins, you elevate Lou Williams to that starting lineup potentially, and I think we got a decent Hawks team here led by Trae Young and Clint Capella. So we'll see how the Hawks kind of handle Lou Williams. Like we said, this was his first game playing here for the Hawks, so we'll see how that progresses. Is he going to be kind of like a Vucevic to the Bulls, or is he going to be like an Aaron Gordon to the Nuggets? How is Lou Williams going to help this Hawks team? Alrighty, now let's talk about the Spurs now. DeMar DeRozan, 36 points, 9 assists, 5 rebounds on 51% shooting. Fantastic night. We saw him hit the clutch shot in regulation to tie the game, so very well done. Keldon Johnson, 5.7 rebounds. Jacob Poeltl, 14 points, 10 rebounds. Derek White had a good game here, 29 points, 3 assists on 50% shooting, 7 of 13 from 3 Gs. And DeJounte Murray, 16 points, 9 rebounds, 2 assists. So not bad there. And then off the bench, Rudy Gay, classic, 18 points. Can always count on this man, 18 points, 4 assists, 6 rebounds. The Spurs lose in double OT. That's all it comes down to. They were close. Unfortunately, never kind of had that last shot, that last kind of shot in either regulation, overtime, or double overtime. It was always like the Hawks. All right, yeah, the Spurs made a tie, but we still had that last shot opportunity, and unfortunately, that's why the Spurs lose in double OT. So, well done for the Hawks. Solid win here against a solid Spurs team. All right, that brings us to the last game of the night, our best bet of the night. We told you to bet your house on this game. We were feeling good. I mean, I'm telling you, folks, this Nuggets team with Aaron Gordon is championship-level contenders. I honestly think they can rival any team in the West to come out of the West and challenge the Nets, who I think we all kind of know is going to come out of the East. Well, should have no problem coming out of the East. I mean, the 76ers are really going to be that only team. Possibly the Heat with the firepower from three if they're all on, but they're going to have to go 4 straight games of just playing very well, and I don't know if the Heat are going to be able to do that against the Nets. So this Nuggets team, man, we had them only -2. We knew the big names, or we knew the names for the Clippers. No Rondo, no Patrick Beverly, and no Serge Ibaka. We knew those three weren't going to play. We also kind of thought that Paul George was also not going to play, and we were still confident taking the Nuggets -2. But last second, Paul George does play, but we still felt confident. Paul George does not scare us any point. Regular season, postseason, it doesn't matter. We still are not fearing Paul George, so we still stuck with the Nuggets -2 last night. And man, oh man, it pays off, folks. It pays off. You can trust this Nuggets team. So let's start here with the Nuggets. Jamal Murray, 23 points, 2 assists, 8 rebounds, shot 50%, 3 of 6 from 3. Absolutely clutch in the fourth quarter. Clippers were trying to make it a little bit of an interesting game, but literally everybody was on their clutch mode, and Jamal Murray, no exception over there as well. Hitting clutch mid-range jumpers, hitting clutch threes, just airing the ball out, and everything was falling. Led the team in scoring. Jamal Murray is clutch, folks. All right, Will Barton still at the number 2 position here in the starting lineup. 19 points, 4 assists, 3 rebounds. Jokic, 14 points, 7 assists, 7 rebounds. Aaron Gordon, 14 points, 6 assists, 6 rebounds. And then Michael Porter Jr. also still getting it done. 20 points, 1 assist, 4 rebounds on 63% shooting. Fantastic defense as well from all these players. Now their bench a little lackluster. I mean, Paul Millsap, 5 points, 2 assists, and 3 rebounds on 13 minutes. And he was still a -3 out there. So bench, I mean, the bench is definitely lackluster here for the Nuggets. Paul Millsap is still, solid because he's been in the starting lineup the entire season, but they really don't have anybody else they can kind of rely on consistently to get, solid 10-plus points. If somebody in the starting lineup is having a lackluster scoring night, the Nuggets bench isn't anything that's going to be able to kind of help them consistently, and it's nothing that we can kind of trust. But, I mean, I don't think we have to worry about that because the starters will always get it done. These are some great, talented players out here. They are knowing how to work together, and they're all just kind of big. I mean, it's hard to do anything down low against this team because you got Michael Porter Jr. How tall is this man? I want to say he's like 6'11". What do we get? 6'10". All right. Then we get Aaron Gordon. I want to say he's like 6'9", 6'8". All righty. We're 1 inch off on all these. And then Jokic, I think he's 7 foot. 6'11". Classic, literally 1 inch on all these. So we'll give him those extra inches. But, I mean, it's just tall down there. It's tall down low. How tall is Will Barton? I think he's like 6'7". 6'6", classic. Jamal Murray, let's round it out. I mean, I think he's 6'3". 6'3". There we go. We got one right. All right. So, I mean, it's just nice size out here down low for the squad. They can all score. They know how to all work together. I mean, instantly, this team's winning. They have not lost a game since Aaron Gordon's been in the starting lineup. Where we get Vucevic with the Bulls, they can't even be competitive in a game. So, they found out how to work together overnight. They're all working together. The only one that's kind of sacrificing a little bit of kind of efficiency is kind of Jokic. I mean, we still see Jamal Murray, Michael Porter Jr. scoring 20 points. I mean, Jokic could put up 20 points and, 14 rebounds, but he's kind of split in half here with Aaron Gordon. But they're still efficient. They're still working together. Great defense. I mean, Jokic was a +13. Aaron Gordon was a +12 and only a 7-point win. So that's pretty dang good out there. So well done to this Nuggets team. We will always be believers in this Nuggets team. Alrighty, let's talk about the Clippers now. Yes, Kawhi Leonard does classic Kawhi Leonard things. 24 points, 12 rebounds, 4 assists, 2 steals, 45% shooting from the field, 2 of 4 from 3. The classic. He was also a -14 on the floor, so not great defense by that man. Everybody likes to praise Kawhi Leonard for his defense, but worst plus-minus on the floor, not great. He did play the most minutes by far, which is, should be used to for Kawhi Leonard, because I mean nobody even plays really consistent starting minutes or just minutes in general, because a lot of players are taking games on and off and on and off. So that's why we're never afraid of this Clippers team. All right, so Kawhi Leonard has classic Kawhi Leonard game. Marcus Morris 8 points, 4 rebounds, shot 22%. Yikes. Zubac 8 points, 4 rebounds. Ooh, kind of getting locked up a little bit down low. Paul George 17 points, 5 assists, 8 rebounds. Once again, shot 33%, 2 of 7 from 3. Nothing clutch, nothing dangerous. Reggie Jackson 7 points, 2 assists, 3 rebounds. And that's their starters. Off the bench, they get Terrence Mann, 18 points and 6 rebounds, but just really nothing else. Patrick Patterson, only 4 points. Luke Kennard, only 2 points. Nicholas Batum, 6 points. Nothing truly great on this team. So, yes, sir. Vegas, keep disrespecting the Nuggets, because we'll keep eating up that value. We have no problem eating up, devouring this great value that they're hanging in front of us with this Nuggets team, truly. Alrighty, so that was all the NBA last night. 4 for 4 in are we Wendy's? Because we 4 for 4 out here, folks. Moneymakers hitting all day. Love it. So let's see what we got today and get 2 for 2 on our Moneymaker. Unfortunately, no nationally televised games out here tonight. Truly unfortunate. March Madness doesn't resume today, does it? I believe that's tomorrow, correct? What do we got? Yeah, tomorrow. So a little disappointing that there's no NBA on today. But League Pass if you got it, NBA TV if you got it. All right, so here we go. This is what we got on deck for today. We got the Warriors and the Raptors. Ooh, that's gonna be interesting. If the Raptors are getting if any teams are getting a lot of points here, we may take those, but we'll see. Celtics, Rockets. Oh, Daniel Tice coming back to Daniel Tice is on the Rockets, right? Is that true? Is that where he went? I feel like he went to the Rockets. Regardless, we get Rockets and the Celtics. No, Kelly Olynyk. That's right. Kelly Olynyk went there. Never mind. So disregard that. So Rockets, Celtics up. Mavericks, Knicks. Pacers, Hornets, Grizzlies, Timberwolves, Pelicans, Hawks, Jazz, Bulls, Suns, Thunder, Blazers, Bucks. Oh, we might be getting nice value with that Blazers team. This Bucks team is absolutely trash. I'm not buying them at all. And then the Kings and the Lakers. Ooh, we might be taking the Kings tonight, folks. Alrighty, so some promising potential here and some potential points and some potential value. So let's update our lines, get these lines up to date, and go 2 for 2 on our Moneymaker, shall we? Sounds great, doesn't it? All right, so here we go. Let's find the value. First game up, Warriors, Raptors. Warriors plus 2.5, Raptors minus 2.5. All righty, let's see who's in and out before we make our decision here. Eric Paschal, game time decision. Kevon Looney, game time decision. Jordan Poole, game time decision. So I'm assuming all those players will play. And then for the Raptors, Kyle Lowry is still out. Rodney Hood is out. Patrick McCaw is out. So Kyle Lowry being out, I mean, they've been kind of floundering in their little bit of depth that they just got. This Raptors team, Rodney Hood, he's also out. So not going to trust this Raptors team. They are 1-9 in their last 10, folks. I mean, it's just absolutely garbage over there. And the Warriors not really too much better. We just saw them lose last night in a back-to-back. So we are definitely going to stay away from this game. No great value either way. Alrighty, now let's go to the Mavericks and the Knicks now. Mavericks minus 6, Knicks plus 6. Let's see who is in and out. JJ Redick is a game time decision, so he may be making his Mavericks debut tonight. Willie Cauley-Stein is also still out, unfortunately. For the Knicks, Derrick Rose game time decision. Derrick Rose game time decision, RJ Barrett game time decision, and Reggie Bullock game time decision. So we're going to stay away from this one as well. I mean, I cannot trust this Knicks team. I mean, they haven't really been doing anything consistent. They're not beating the consistently not great teams, which is not a great look for this Knicks team. They beat the Bucks the other night, but like we said, I mean, there was nobody playing for that Bucks team, so that's not a great win. Can't trust this Knicks team. We won't take the 6. We won't swallow the 6 here for the Mavericks just because they're on the road. So we'll stay away from this one. But if we had to lean on one side, I think we lean towards the Mavericks minus the points there. Alrighty, here we go. We may be taking this. Rockets plus 11.5, Celtics minus 11.5. I don't know who is trusting the Celtics with minus 11.5 points against any team. And this Rockets team has slowly been pretty decent. They've been good for the first three quarters, the last kind of 5 games that they've been playing since Christian Wood's been back in kind of, consistent playing. But let's see who's all in and out here. So for the Rockets, Eric Gordon is still out. John Wall is a game-time decision. I'm assuming he's going to go. And then for the Celtics, Tristan Thompson is still out. So haven't been able to trust this Celtics team. They're 3-7 in their last 10. They haven't really been able to do anything. The only thing that the Rockets have been garbage on is closing out in the fourth quarter. But I think we're going to take the 11.5 here. Christian Wood's good to go. Kelly Olynyk's good to go. John Wall's a game-time decision, and I'm betting that he's going because their last game was Wednesday, so they had that kind of, it's only a one-day rest, so not as much as I was thinking. But, I can trust this Rockets team to be competitive now that Christian Wood is back. This lineup is still fine. The Celtics have not been able to kind of figure out anything, especially with Tristan Thompson out. I mean, they've been struggling with Robert Williams. Evan Fournier really hasn't been doing anything, so we'll take the 11.5 here for the Rockets, and we just have to hope that they can close out that fourth quarter. That's the only red flag that we have here for this Rockets, that they can't close out in the fourth quarter, but I can't see the Celtics team doing that either, so we'll take these large amount of points. They may not win, but we'll take the points. Alrighty, let's keep moving on here. Grizzlies and the Timberwolves. Timberwolves plus 6.5. Grizzlies minus 6.5. And the Grizzlies are right in that perfect spot where this is great value. They're one game below 500, and they're facing a bad team. They're looking to get back at 500, folks. So as long as everybody's going to go with the Grizzlies, we'll swallow the 6.5. D'Angelo Russell is still out for the Timberwolves, and for the Grizzlies, Grayson Allen is a game-time decision. So that's really it right there. Not too big, not too nothing that's going to chase us off with Grayson Allen. He's not always great. He's usually decent out there, but they can usually fill in a role, fill somebody in for that role without losing too much of production, really. So we'll take the Grizzlies minus 6.5 here. The Timberwolves, the Timberwolves have been doing decently these last couple of games. They just beat the Knicks in their last meeting. They lost by 5 against the Nets, so they have been a little bit more competitive here since the trade deadline, but the Grizzlies are looking back to get at 500. So this is what the Grizzlies have been doing literally all season long. A game below 500, 500, a game above 500, back to a game below 500. That's literally how they go. So we'll take the 6.5. We'll swallow the 6.5 here for the Grizzlies. Alrighty, then we get the Hornets and the Pacers. Hornets plus 4.5, Pacers minus 4.5. That game last night for the Hornets really left a bad taste in my mouth. The offense was not on par at all. Malik Monk is out for the Hornets, and for the Pacers, Jeremy Lamb is a game-time decision, and Sabonis also a game-time decision, so that's a little interesting. Haven't really seen him on kind of the injury report. So we're going to stay away from this one. Can't really trust this Hornets team quite yet. We'll see how they kind of bounce back against this Pacers team. And you know how we feel about the Pacers over here. They don't do anything. They never do anything great. This is the most mediocre team I think there is. So we'll stay away from swallowing the points there. All right, then we go to the Bulls and the Jazz. And man, oh man, this spread is getting me. It's a little tempting here. Bulls plus 12, Jazz minus 12. The Bulls have not won a game with Vucevic on the floor, folks. So let's see who's in and out here. Garrett Temple is out. Zach LaVine is a game-time decision, and same thing with Kobe White, also a game-time decision. So, man, oh man. Zach LaVine, I think, was a game-time decision in their last game as well, and he ended up not playing, so that's not great. They definitely need Zach LaVine back up in this lineup if we want to take this points, if we want to take this spread. And we've seen that even with Zach LaVine in the starting lineup with Vucevic, they cannot figure it out. It's not like we said, this Bulls team is not like what the Nuggets did. Yeah, we get a new player, Aaron Gordon. Yeah, we're winning games right off the rip. We don't need to kind of see how we play together, see how we fit in. We're just winning games right off the rip. Where the Bulls, Vucevic and Zach LaVine, they're 0-3. Or 0-2 together, 0-3 since the trade. Man, oh man, the Jazz now. Everybody's going to go for the Jazz. Joe Ingles, game time decision. Donovan Mitchell, game time decision. So we'll see if Donovan Mitchell is back. But the Bulls plus 12, it's truly tempting, but I think we're going to have to stay away from it here. Just have to see them be competitive in a game. Until they start to do that, we can't trust this team. And we know the Jazz are very, very good, obviously. So we'll stay away from this one, although the Bulls plus 12 is calling me. It's calling me, folks. If I hear Zach LaVine is in later tonight, I may have a Twitter bet, so stick around for that. Follow me on Twitter to stay up to date on that. Alrighty, what's the next game up here? Hawks and the Pelicans. Alrighty, let's see who's in and out here. Hawks plus 1.5. Pelicans minus 1.5. Alrighty, for the Hawks, Chris Dunn is out, John Collins is still out, and Cam Reddish is still out, unfortunately. For the Pelicans, Josh Hart, game time decision, Brandon Ingram, game time decision, Lonzo Ball, game time decision, Zion Williamson, game time decision. Now, I'm assuming all those players play since it's kind of the second on a back-to-back, so I'm assuming those players will play. And I'm not totally sold on this Hawks team quite yet, especially going into double overtime yesterday. I mean, that's 2 extra periods of basketball on a back-to-back. Cannot trust this Hawks team on a potentially well-rested Pelicans team, so we'll stay away from this one. Just too many question marks for the Pelicans, and the Hawks are on a back-to-back just going into double overtime, so not going to trust the freshness of this Hawks team. Then we get Bucks and the Blazers. Bucks minus 3, Blazers plus 3. Alrighty, let's see if everybody's going to go. Jeff Teague is a game time decision for the Bucks. PJ Tucker is still out. Damn him. And Bobby Portis is a game time decision. For the Blazers, everybody is good to go. So Blazers, I think, are a better team, and we're getting 3 points. Yes, sir. The outside shooting hurts the Bucks, and the Blazers have it in the starting lineup off the bench. They've got no problems hitting the shot. So we get, I think, the better team with the 3 points. We'll take that all day. Great value. Alrighty, last 2 games here. Thunder and the Suns. Thunder plus 13. Suns minus 13. So Shai Gilgeous-Alexander must still be out here. For the Thunder here, what do we get? Shai Gilgeous-Alexander still out. Lugens Dort is still out. But they've been decently competitive. I mean, the players have been getting it done. They just beat the Raptors in their last meeting. They got blown out by the Mavericks by 21 points. That's not great. Okay, maybe they haven't been doing as good as we thought they were doing. Kind of got them mixed up with the Magic a little bit of being competitive, so definitely going to stay away from this one. For the Suns, Frank Kaminsky is out and Torrey Craig is a game time decision. It's just a little bit too big of a spread for me to swallow, so we'll stay away from it. And then the last game of the night, the Kings, Lakers plus 4, Kings minus 4.5. Damn, I thought we were going to get some good value with the Kings. Maybe a couple of points that we would have taken, but probably going to stay away from this one. Lakers, LeBron James obviously still out. Anthony Davis still out. Andre Drummond is still out. So you really can't trust anybody on this Lakers team. You know how we feel about that. And then for the Kings, Hassan Whiteside is a game time decision, so hopefully he's back playing out there. But I'm feeling good with these other picks here. Let's go 2 for 2. Let's not try to push it here. Kings minus 4.5 is decently appealing, but we'll see what the Lakers can do. So we'll stay away from this one. But our moneymaker for tonight's action, Rockets plus 11.5, Grizzlies minus 6.5, and the Blazers plus 3. Yes, sir. We just hit last night, folks. Get in on this action while it is hot. Alrighty, let's head over to our NBA Power Rankings. It is Friday, y'all, and we update this every Friday. And this is the first Friday since the kind of trade deadline, so we have a full kind of week to really kind of see what these teams are doing with their new additions. Are they making it work? Are they not making it work? Like really only teams making it work, and that's the Nuggets with their newly acquired piece. So very well done to them, and we will have them moving. Don't worry, folks. They're no longer number 6 here. Let's all settle down. They could be 1, folks. I'm not opposed to putting this team 1, so we'll see how it falls. But here we go. Going into this week, Clippers at 10, Hornets at 9, Blazers at 8, Mavericks at 7, Nuggets at 6, Bucks at 5, Jazz at 4, 76ers at 3, and the Suns are at 2, and the Nets are at 1. So the Nets, the best team in the league going into this week. We'll see if they can kind of maintain their number 1 status. Alrighty, before we start telling you before we start getting into the order here for the NBA Power Rankings, the new order, let's tell you because we are moving 2 teams out. So we have to bring 2 new teams in, but the first team that we are moving out is the Clippers. I hate this Clippers team, folks. What's dangerous about this team? Kawhi Leonard? Okay, when he's playing and not on load management, yes, that's fine. But then we also got Paul George not even playing, with Kawhi Leonard every single game. And Serge Ibaka's been out for this last week and it hasn't really been looking good. Now, they did get Rondo, but he hasn't played yet, so we don't know how that's going to fare out. But I mean, man, oh man, this Clippers team in the last week, they went 2-2. They beat the 76ers. Congratulations. They beat the Bucks. Congratulations. That was a good win by them. That was a real solid win by them over the Bucks. But I mean, then they just faced the Nuggets last night and lost, and they were at home, and the Nuggets were just looking far superior. And I mean, it's just the starters. I mean, the Nuggets don't have that great of a bench, and they're still able to take care of this Clippers team. So Clippers just lost to the Nuggets and the Magic. They lost to the Magic, folks. And the Magic literally traded away all their other players. So I don't want to hear that, the Clippers, I mean, Paul George didn't play that game, and all these players didn't play. Serge Ibaka didn't play that game. The Magic just got rid of Vucevic, Aaron Gordon, and Evan Fournier. So what are we talking about here? The Clippers still have Kawhi Leonard, so there's really still no reason why that Clippers team should have lost against the Magic. So we put them in the power rankings just last week. And we told you we were going to take it slow with them because they show us nothing dangerous, and we didn't want to get overhyped on that decent week that they had last week. But here they are, 2-2, floundering again, so I'm ready to kick them out. They're out of the top 10. I'm over the Clippers. They're not a good, consistent team. I don't even know if they'll make it out of the first round of the playoffs, folks. Who are they facing right now if the season ended today? They've got the Blazers, and I'm taking the Blazers. Are you kidding me? CJ McCollum, Nurkic is back. Damian Lillard is still doing Damian Lillard things. They just got the man from the Raptors who's fitting in very, very good. Oh man, at the 3, I'm blanking on his name. But regardless, I still got the Blazers over the Clippers. So Clippers out of the top 10, not sorry at all. And then the second team that is no longer in the top 10, which I am actually sorry about. I am truly saddened to see this team out, but we are unfortunately going to have to knock out the Hornets as well. 2-2 this week. They beat the Heat, which was a pretty solid win for them, and the Wizards. Like we said, like we all know, no LaMelo Ball. Unfortunate. But they were still kind of winning games decently coming into this week. But this week, they kind of floundered a little bit. They had to face the Suns, and they lost. And they had to face the Nets, and they lost and didn't look good. And we can't. I want to buy into the Hornets team, don't get me wrong. And I love kind of everybody kind of stepping up decently on a consistent basis for this team without LaMelo Ball. But for our power rankings, yeah, we like to see you be competitive. But we have to start to see you beating some of these better teams, the Suns, the Nets, who they just lost to, unfortunately. So we are going to have to move them out of the top 10. Truly unfortunate. Hopefully we can put them back in. We'll see what happens. But I think they do have a tough week this week upcoming as well. So I don't know if they're going to be able to get back in the top 10. Maybe next week. But yeah, truly saddened to see this Hornets team go. Everybody really stepping it up. Just unfortunately, they don't have that true star power, unfortunately. So they can't keep up with these star-studded teams of the Nets and the Suns and the Nuggets and the Clippers. Clippers not even, I just said the Clippers because I was looking at the Clippers, but they're truly trash. So Clippers at number 10 and Hornets at number 9 will no longer be in our top 10. All right, so that means new teams coming in the top 10. So let's go 10 to number 1, refill out, re-update these power rankings based on what happened this week. So here we go. The new number 10 team in the first team that is newly additioned here in our power rankings is going to be the Hawks, folks. Alrighty. Now, I had a troubling time figuring out who I was going to put in the top, who I was going to put at number 10. I thought about leaving the Hornets in, but the Hawks just won last night with Lou Williams, so that's their newly acquired piece since the trade deadline, and this is the first game he played for the Hawks, and it ended up with a win. So we're going to give the Hawks here this number 10 seed. We'll see what they do this week. But in the last week, they beat the They beat the Warriors and the Spurs. They lost to the Nuggets and the Suns. So once again, losing against those top tier teams. But like we just said, Lou Williams just came back, or just just played his first game with the Hawks last night against the Spurs, went into double overtime and won. And also, they didn't have John Collins in that game. So they're probably third best option offensively, did not play that game, but they were still able to win it. So we're going to give the Hawks the spot here in the top 10 because I want to see how Lou Williams plays out for this Hawks team. Now, I believe this Hawks team has a decently rough schedule ahead of them. So let's see if we can quickly see what they've got going on this week. Just kind of looking for the... All right, let's go to the schedule here. All right, Atlanta Hawks. Here we go. What do they got going on this week? All righty. Tonight they face the Pelicans. Sunday they got the Warriors. Tuesday they got the Pelicans again. Wednesday they got the Grizzlies. All right, so it's not a bad schedule, but this is a winnable schedule for them. So they at least need to go like 3-1 and really kind of truthfully 4-0. So if they want to kind of keep this 10th seed, so a little bit of work ahead of them, but definitely winnable work. So this is definitely going to be their true test. We'll give them the benefit of the doubt. We'll give them kind of the starting position at number 10. See what they do this week. So Hawks at number 10 because of the newly acquired Lou Williams in the win with the newly acquired Lou Williams. Alrighty, number 9 is going to be the Mavericks. All right, we got to drop them back a little bit. They went 2-2 this week, beating the Celtics and the Thunder, and then losing against the Pacers and the Pelicans. And I know Luka Doncic didn't play against, and I think in both of those losses, so I understand those losses. But I mean, still, at the end of the day, we're seeing a lot of players step up in kind of that next man up mentality. I mean, everybody on the Magic is stepping up. So I don't want to hear about, our best player didn't play. You still need to be competitive, and you still need to start winning some of these games, and we still need to start seeing other players step up. If you're only a good team because you only got one superstar, a la the Clippers, that doesn't impress me because we got this Nuts team, we got this Suns team, we got this 76ers team, we got this Jazz team, we even got the Bucks, and I don't even like the Bucks that much, but I'll take the Bucks over the Clippers and the Mavericks, and definitely the Nuggets. I mean, everybody steps up on that team. So just a little unfortunate here this week, losing those 2 games. Nobody really stepping up. And then they beat, the Celtics and the Thunder. Those aren't really great wins. This Celtics team is absolutely not great. They don't know what they're doing. They don't know what their offense is. And they've got no bench. And besides Jason Brown and Jalen Tatum, I mean, there's nobody good out there. You can't rely on anybody out there. So, not really great wins. Some tough losses with some of their key pieces out. Kristaps Porzingis and Luka Doncic are obviously fantastic. That's kind of the main duo out there. That's their main offense. Tim Hardaway Jr. really kind of steps up. He's really starting to impress us. He's kind of making a name for himself in that 6th Man of the Year category, in my opinion. So we'll see what the Mavericks can do this week, but we got to drop them back. Some other great performances this week, and just kind of, beating the Celtics, that's not too impressive by me. So we got to move the Mavs down a couple of seeds here, a couple of spots to number 9. Alrighty, new number 8 team, and this is a new team in the top 10 here. We got to go the Miami Heat, baby. Yes, sir. Very well done this week. They beat the Knicks, the Pacers, and the Warriors. Not great wins, but winning games. We're not going to penalize you too much for winning games. And then the loss against the Hornets. Tough loss there. But, Goran Dragic, Jimmy Butler, Victor Oladipo, I mean, they're getting it done. Duncan Robinson just stepped up last night, but Jimmy Butler and Goran Dragic, they're playing very well together. Trevor Ariza at the 4. I mean, who would have saw that coming? That's working out. I think he just switched over to the 3 last night and still got it done. So this Heat team, they're starting to become a little bit deeper now. The starting lineup starting to be a little bit more consistent out here, and I love what the Heat have done. So we're going to reward them. Victor Oladipo is probably the second best trade at the trade deadline that's been kind of working out consistently, that they're kind of winning games with these newly acquired pieces, not like the Bulls with Vucevic, who literally, man, oh man, I thought Vucevic was going to make the Bulls start winning games, him and Zach LaVine, but they can't get it right. So unfortunate there, but love what this Heat can do. And if Duncan Robinson can play like he did play last night consistently, watch out definitely for this team, because they're just kind of missing that third consistent offensive piece. We can always count on Jimmy Butler. We can always count on Bam Adebayo as well at the 5. And we can always count on Goran Dragic. Victor Oladipo, we have to see if we can start trusting him a little bit consistently. Tyler Hero, he's been decently consistent this week. And Duncan Robinson was just absolutely on fire last night with the 20-point game. So Heat at number 8. Love what they can do. And that Bam Adebayo at the 5 and Trevor Ariza both on the floor. It's working, folks. So love it. Heat at number 8. Alrighty, new number 7 team, and this team is dropping a little bit here, but new number 7 team is going to be the Bucks. Oof, not a great week for them. And I know that all their players didn't play one of these games, but once again, got to see you start to step it up a little bit. So, their only win this week was against the Lakers. Okay, you beat a LeBron-less, AD-less Lakers team. That is not impressive at all. So, congrats on that one win. All right, and then they lose against the Celtics, the Knicks, and the Clippers, and they got blown out by that Clippers. That was a telltale sign of what this Bucks team is. Giannis is great, and Giannis is going to have these great performances, and they can kind of beat up the bad teams and the average and slightly above average teams decently. But man, oh man, when they face the better teams, they all flounder. Nobody really steps up. They get absolutely blasted by that Clippers team, who we just dropped off in the power rankings. So can't trust this Bucks team. They're really not consistent. Yeah, they just went on like a 7-game winning streak, but now what are they in their last 10? I mean, they're 7-3 in their last 10 now. They're losing games. Really should have been 0-4. Luckily, they had a run into the Lakers, but I mean, I'm not buying this Bucks team. Really, besides Giannis, nobody's really consistent. Drew Holiday's good. Chris Middleton is usually decent, but I mean, it's just nothing great. They lack on the 3-ball on most of the games where they lose, and they still kind of get beat by those outside shooting teams still. So I don't think they didn't do anything at the trade deadline. They didn't do anything really big from last season in the bubble to this season. This is still the same old Bucks team that's not threatening. Them and the Clippers are the 2 most inflated good teams out there, and I do not buy them. We do not buy them over here at Takes by Fans. So Bucks at number 7, and I'll drop them off next week. I know I was struggling finding a 10th seed out here with the Hawks, but I'll put the Magic here in the top 10. I was this close to putting the Magic in the top 10 at number 10, just because everybody's kind of stepping up decently. Like we said, when at the trade deadline, trading literally all their pieces. So Bucks at number 7, and we are not afraid to drop them out of the top 10 next week if they don't step it up. Alrighty, let's go to number 6 now. New number 6 team. This team dropping back a little bit. We've been dropping them back a little bit through this week as well. Every single loss, we've been dropping them back. But 76ers at number 6. Now, Joel Embiid is coming back tomorrow, I believe. So now they can start to get back on track here. But without Joel Embiid, they're not beating the good teams. In the last week, the 76ers have beaten the Lakers and the Cavs. Once again, I mean, what do we talk about win-wise? I mean, is that even a win? Can we even count that as a win? I know I said I don't like to kind of, knock you for doing what you're supposed to do, but man, oh man, when you're only beating the Lakers and the Cavs, I mean, yikes. And then you lose against the Clippers and the Nuggets. I mean, the Nuggets are a great team. Clippers are a big team. We'll call them a big team. They're a big team in the media. A lot of people like to talk about them. But 76ers can't beat them. Without Joel Embiid, we really can't trust them against the top tier teams, obviously. We can always usually count on Tobias Harris and Ben Simmons. Usually those two are key and always consistent. Unfortunately, Danny Green, Seth Curry, usually not. But like we said, Joel Embiid can come back, and he's kind of missed about almost 2 weeks, I think. He's missed a lot here. So 76ers, they can get back on track, but we need to start to see them start winning games with Joel Embiid. And until they do that, until they kind of prove themselves, we got to keep dropping them back a little bit there. But they'll be back there. They'll be back in the top 5 next week. I'm not doubting it. But like we said, I mean, no Joel Embiid for this week or last week. They've been going down a little bit, and until they start winning games with Joel Embiid, we'll start moving them back up. Alrighty, new number 5 team here. Yes, sir. The Blazers at number 5. Yes, sir. Norman Powell is fitting in perfectly. That means Derrick Jones Jr. comes down to the bench, makes their bench a little bit better. You got Enes Kanter, Carmelo Anthony, Derrick Jones Jr. coming off the bench. I'm about it. And then in the starting lineup, you've got CJ McCollum, Damian Lillard, who we think is an MVP front runner. Yusuf Nurkic is back and, really not missing a step since he's basically missed the entire season. Coming in and filling in very, very well. And like we said, the new addition of Norman Powell is really just making this team absolutely fantastic from three. So the Blazers here at number 5 in the last week, they went 3-0. They beat the Magic, the Raptors, and the Pistons. Now, I mean, those aren't any great teams. The Magic, a little bit of a good team because they've been really kind of stepping it up here. But they had no losses. They're winning all their games. We can't control who they face this week. But the main thing is that they beat everybody this week. They're looking good. Damian Lillard's not, getting any less production because of CJ McCollum and Powell now, and I'm really interested to see here if Derrick Jones Jr. can really kind of establish himself as kind of a sixth man for this team. So we'll start to see that a little bit as this week kind of progresses a little bit more. But absolutely love what the Blazers can do here. Love their team, love their fight, love their depth, and love their starting lineup. So Blazers at 5. Alrighty, new number 4 team. No, the Jazz are going to stay here at number 4. A good week. They won all their games. They went 4-0, but they faced the Grizzlies 3 times this week. I mean, geez, can you beat a different team? So they beat the Grizzlies 3 times. They beat the Cavs. Very good team here with the Jazz. I mean, they are getting it done. I mean, they're deep. Jordan Clarkson, 6th man of the year, potentially. I mean, he just dropped 23 on the bench the other night. They just won without Donovan Mitchell. Absolutely fantastic. Mike Conley, Joe Ingles both step in and step up in that game, so we can kind of trust their depth a little bit more. We can trust players stepping up. Hey, I'm usually a bench player, but hey, Joe Ingles, you need to kind of step up and take over Mike Conley's spot, who has to take over Donovan Mitchell's spot, and they win that game. So we're big about that. But we are going to keep them at number 3 just because we've had kind of other better performances this week, and like we said, you beat the Grizzlies 3 times. That's good. That's should we be giving that a little bit more credit, because I mean, you face a team, then you have to go face them again. They kind of watch, all right, what did you do? And then you have to face them a third time. They're like, all right, we know what you're going to do, and we still can't stop it. So very well done for the Jazz, I guess we should say, for beating the Grizzlies 3 times this week. But I'm a little bit more impressed with these other teams that we have in the top 4, or the top 3. So Jazz will stay at number 4 for another week. Let's see if they rise to the occasion, start being some good teams here. We'll see what they've got in the next week, schedule-wise, but we'll see if some of these other teams start floundering a little bit more here. Alrighty, number 3 now. New number 3 team is going to be the Suns. We're going to drop them back 1 seed because we have to clear out room for our new 2 seed that's going to be coming up. But the Suns here, great week, went 4-0, beat the Raptors, the Hornets, the Hawks, and the Bulls. Once again, just a little lackluster on opponents. Yes, you went 4-0 and beat everybody that was laid in your way. But like we said, we have to kind of make room for the number 2 seed because they had a little bit of a better week just in opponent-wise. They both went 4-0. The number 3 seed, the Suns, and our number 2 seed that we're going to unveil in a second. But, I mean, this Suns team, they're good. They're decently deep. Their bench of Cameron Payne, Cameron Johnson, Dario Saric, they usually kind of get it done. And then how can you not love this starting roster of Chris Paul, Devin Booker, DeAndre Ayton, Jay Crowder? I mean, that man's having great success on this team too. So, I mean, they're great really from the starting lineup to the bench. One of the probably deepest teams. Obviously, the Nets are probably the deepest team here. The Suns possibly number 2. Maybe the Jazz, or maybe the Blazers 3, the Jazz 4, just kind of depth on teams that you can rely on depth for. So, Suns are definitely very great, and we're only moving them back a little bit because I want to kind of shout out this team a lot, very heavy here. So no wrongdoing by the Suns here. Just unfortunately, another team had a little bit of a harder schedule, very slimly, so we have to give them the nod here. So who is this mystery number 2 team that we've been praising already? It's the mother-loving Nuggets, y'all. I want to put this team at number 1, honestly. It's going to be a little tough because the Nets are deep and they're reliable, and I mean, they're just getting piece after piece and they're all stepping it up. But man, oh man, this addition of Aaron Gordon, man, this makes this Nuggets team absolutely almost unstoppable. They're 4-0 this week, absolutely magnificent, beating the Pelicans, the Hawks, the 76ers, and just last night, everybody's favorite team, the mother-loving Clippers. Yes, sir. The Clippers can't even beat this Nuggets team. Now, the one thing I don't like about this Nuggets team is their bench. They really only had Paul Millsap off their bench. I mean, that's really it. But that starting lineup, they haven't seemed to need to use their bench when Aaron Gordon is in the lineup. Jamal Murray is still getting great production. Michael Porter Jr. is still getting great production. Jokic's production has slightly gone down a little bit, and I think that's definitely going to hurt his MVP cases a little bit, but he's splitting kind of production with Aaron Gordon, but collectively they're getting it done on the defensive end of the ball. They're both getting rebounds and solid points. So that's great by the Nuggets. Now, their depth, like we said, on the bench, it's a little lackluster. Like, of these top fives here, the Nets have a better bench, the Suns have a better bench, the Jazz have a better bench, the Blazers have a better bench, the 76ers have a better bench, the Bucks have a better bench, the Heat have a great bench. Literally, that's the only problem with this Nuggets team. But so far of what we've been seeing, they don't need their bench. Their starters can all get it done. Everybody can score 20 plus points in that starting rotation if they need to, and while grabbing like 8 rebounds, everybody, while all having 5 assists. So they can all get it done themselves, and I'm ready to ride this Nuggets train till they lose. Honestly, I'm ready to ride this Nuggets train till the wheels fall off. Let's see who they've got coming up this week. Are they going to have a tough week this week? What do they got? Sunday, they play against the Magic. That should be a win. I mean, Aaron Gordon's former team. Watch this man to go off. Tuesday, they got the Pistons. Wednesday, they got the Spurs. And Friday, they got the Spurs as well. So this is a real easy week for them. So if they lose a game, we'll have to kind of move them down. This is really a winnable 4-0 week, 3-0 week, just because that Friday game we're not going to count because we do it on Friday days. But love this Nuggets team. I mean, this is one of the best starting lineups there is. The Nuggets have a great starting lineup. The Suns have a great starting lineup. But man, oh man, the 76ers have a decent starting lineup as well. But man, oh man, that Nuggets team, how they all play, all unselfish, all good defensively, all kind of solid beef in their own right. Jamal Murray is clutch as heck. And then you got the beef of just Aaron Gordon, Michael Porter Jr., and Jokic all down low. It's just fantastic. So I cannot speak more highly of this Nuggets team, folks. Alrighty, and then the number 1 seed here is still going to be the Nets. I mean, folks, how can they not? How can they not, right? 4-0 this week. I mean, Timberwolves, they beat the Timberwolves, the Pistons, the Hornets, and the Rockets. I mean, once again, no really great wins here, but their depth, Nicholas Claxton stepping up, Blake Griffin just absolutely getting it done as well. I mean, we're seeing him dunking, we're seeing him catching lobs. I mean, we're seeing him be efficient from the 3. He just hit like 2 of 2 the other night. Fantastic. He was going like 1 of 6, 2 of 6 on the Pistons. So they're deep. They can win with just Kyrie Irving. They can win with just James Harden. They win when they're both on the floor. Kevin Durant hasn't even barely made an appearance this season, and they're still winning games. And are they the number 1 seed in the East yet? They are. They finally overtook it. Gosh darn, the 76ers. Joel Embiid, you need to come back. So Nets have officially overtaken the best record in the East, and very close to the best percentage overall. Well, not too close, but decently close. Third best? Are they the third best winning percentage? They're the third best winning percentage in the league without Kevin Durant. I mean, geez. And can we shout out Nicholas Claxton getting it done off the bench? Can we shout out Joe Harris, who's the most consistent player I've seen all season in a starting lineup that's not kind of a big name? So they've got the 5th man of the year, Joe Harris. They still got Kyrie, James Harden, Kevin Durant, Nicholas Claxton coming off the bench, Bruce Brown still in the starting lineup, LaMarcus Aldridge, who just made a start last night and still solid contribution, 11 points, 9 rebounds. What more do you want from that man? And then they still got DeAndre Jordan and Blake Griffin. I mean, it's just a little unfair. It's a little annoying. And, I think we're all rooting for a team to beat this team. But you got to beat them first. So Nets at number 1. Alrighty, so this is our power rankings going into this week. Hawks at 10, Mavs at 9, Heat at 8, Bucks at 7, 76ers at 6, Blazers at 5, Jazz at 4, Suns at 3, Nuggets at 2, Nets are at 1 still, unfortunately. Now, outside looking in, I would probably say we've got maybe the Clippers a little bit. The Spurs possibly a little bit, but I need to start to see them winning. What's their biggest winning streak this season? Like 2? Are they? I don't know if they've won more than like 2 games straight. I want to shout out the Kings. I was this close to putting them kind of at number 10 as well. They've kind of been getting it done a little bit offensively. I mean, they're 7-3 in their last 10 and just putting up like 120, 130 points, no problem on a nightly basis. The Celtics, I mean, I don't even know what to make of this team, man. I mean, they need to start to get it together. They need to find out what their starting lineup's going to be. They're basically at grounds, or they're basically back at square one at the beginning of the season. All right, what should be our starting lineup? What should be our rotation coming off the bench? Can we trust Robert Williams in the starting rotation? What do we do with Evan Fournier? Kemba Walker's not going to be here next season, and oh, how the mighty have fallen. They are now currently the 8th seed in the East. Jeez. What else here? A Magic potentially outside looking in. I mean, like I said, they got rid of all their players, but everybody is stepping up on this team, and they are on a 2-game winning streak. So I shout out this Magic team. Very close to putting them at number 10 too. So a couple of teams out here outside looking in. We'll see if anybody's able to kind of make a push next week into our top 10. I mean, Hawks, Mavs. I mean, Bucks even. I mean, their spots are not kind of solidified out here, so we can still get some nice fluctuation here in our power rankings next week. Alrighty, let's head over to our NFL draft prospect of the day. Let's start looking at that man. Let me blow the nose first. Excuse us while we do so. All right. Thanks for sticking along with us. I mean, this week our sinuses have been just absolutely garbage. So we definitely apologize for that, but we thank you for your patience for your patience out here. Alrighty, NFL draft prospect of the day. We looked at Michael Carter, running back of North Carolina yesterday. Really not impressed by the man, but we've got another UNC running back that hopefully we can be a little bit more excited about today, and Javonte Williams. So that's what we've got today. We'll look at the stats and break down the film and see if Javonte Williams is A, looking better than Michael Carter, and B, if he can kind of maybe rival Travis Etienne or Najee Harris. But let's see what this man can do. So here we go. Javonte Williams, running back from North Carolina. Alrighty, 5'10", running back, classic. Played 3 seasons there in North Carolina. First season, 2018 freshman year, only 43 rushes for 224 yards, 5 touchdowns. Nothing to be expected there. And then, all right, just got to see him get better here. 2019 sophomore season, 166 attempts, 933 yards, 5 touchdowns. And then he also had 176 receiving yards and another touchdown on top of that. And then came his breakout 2020 season, 157 rushes for 1,140 yards, 19 touchdowns, 305 yards receiving on top of that for 3 touchdowns as well. So 1,400 yards in total for 22 total touchdowns. Now that is what we're talking about. Yes, sir. Getting better every single year. This season, absolutely amazing. Averaging 7 yards a carry on like 5 yards a carry the year before. So getting absolutely better. More yards on less rushes, more touchdowns on a lot more touchdowns on a little bit of less rushes as well. But that's what we're talking about, getting better every single season. All right, now we see that he played in 2 bowl games. Let's see what he was doing in those bowl games. Was he the main reason why they won the bowl games? We weigh bowl games heavy because, you've had a month to prepare for them and you're facing a decent kind of comparable team. So let's see what he did here in 2019. Bowl game against Temple, 14 carries for 85 yards, didn't score a touchdown, had 3 more receptions for 24 yards, but still no touchdown. So didn't score a touchdown, but had over 100 yards. They put up 55 points, though, and blew out Temple 55-13. So a little unfortunate that he wasn't kind of a huge reason why they won. Let's see who was putting up touchdowns here for UNC in this bowl game. Their quarterback's throwing for 4, so all the wide receivers getting the love here. Let's see any running backs here have any touchdowns. Antonio Williams, their other running back here, 2 touchdowns, but only ran for 16 yards. So the other running backs putting him into kind of scoring potential, and their receivers putting them into scoring potential as well. So, all right, a little unfortunate there. But let's see what he did in 2020. Here we go. Got to a bowl game in 2020. Let's see if he even played in the bowl game, first of all. Or did he opt out because of COVID? Well, no, he does. Oh, no, he does opt out. He does not play in their bowl game, unfortunately, here. Let's go to North Carolina here. Let's see their bowl game. Alrighty, against Texas, they lose. That's a pretty good sign, yeah. So they lose by only putting up 27 points. So, all right, he doesn't play and they lose. That's a decent sign, I would say. Opts out because of COVID. Alrighty. All right, but overall, I mean, that 2020 season, fantastic for Javonte Williams. 1,100 yards, 22 total touchdowns. That's what we're talking about. Alrighty, so the stats were pretty good, but we were impressed by Carter Williams' stats yesterday. It's going to be what the tape is going to kind of sell us. So let's see what this man can do. We know he breaks a lot of tackles. That's his thing. So let's see this man work and not go down. So Javonte Williams, running back from North Carolina. Let's see what this man can do. Let's get his number just in case we have to follow this man around the field. 25. Alrighty, here we go. Alrighty, first play up, just getting the ball out of the backfield, trips at the line of scrimmage, gets back up, and then takes a hit and goes for 15 yards. Alrighty, this first play, I'm already liking him. I'm already liking him way better than Michael Carter. Alrighty, a little throw on the flats to the outside, able to squeeze between those defenders, get brought down by, after going for about 5-10 more yards after first contact. Now here on the goal line, easy. That's easy money. Come on the goal line. Make it a little harder for this man. Just tiptoes in. I mean, literally just tiptoes in. He was bracing for a big hit right at the line, and he just tiptoes in there. Easy peasy touchdown there. Alrighty. Let's get up to this next play. Back in the red zone here. Takes the handoff. Here he goes. This is, 5 yards out. There we go. Powers right through the hole. No problem there. Makes it a little bit harder on him from the goal line, but he still gets it done. And now he's back once again in the goal line from the 5-yard line. Takes the handoff. Won't go down. Yes, sir. You can't bring this man down. He's 5'10", 220. This is a sturdy frame out there in the running back position. Got to bring your best tacklers for this. Alrighty, against Boston College right now, going right up the middle, 10 yards, getting brought down by like 3 or more defenders out there. Alrighty, back on the goal line right here, loaded box. Let's see what he can do. Easy. Barely getting hit before he even touches the line there. So another red zone touchdown for this man. Too easy. Make it a little bit harder for him. Here we go from the 40-yard line. Just going to escape. Where is he gonna? Yeah, all right. Wow. Whoa. Busted up play here. Just nowhere to go with the football. Running back just kind of leaks out very last second. And I mean, that quarterback was like this close to passing the line of scrimmage for an illegal forward pass there. But hey, just recognizes the situation right here. Absolutely fantastic. Breaks free at the last second. Well done for this quarterback to keep his eyes downfield literally at the last centimeter before he can like not throw this ball anymore. So fantastic work. And then he just goes right down the middle here. Can't be caught, and that's a nice little 40-yard touchdown catch and run for this man. Yes, sir. I'm liking the speed a little bit. Liking it way better than Carter Williams. Or Michael Carter. Here we go. Handoff to the right side. Able to pick up like 20 yards. Fantastic. Alrighty, right up the middle. About 15 yards already. We got to start seeing some breakaway speed, some, kind of staying on his feet a little bit more. Here we go, right on the goal line. Easy. Oh, my goodness. This man's surefire touchdown if he's going to be running from the 1-yard line. It's just going to be too easy out there. All right, this time from in the red zone, takes the handoff. Here we go. Breaks the tackle right at the line of scrimmage. Stays on his feet. The burst of speed. Breaks another tackle and gets in for the touchdown. So we are definitely loving this man way better than Michael Carter that we just looked at yesterday, the other running back here from UNC. Here we go. Stays in bounds. Can't be brought down. Goes for another 5 yards while 4 or more players try to bring this man down. All righty. Alrighty, maybe a mini Derrick Henry out here. Obviously not the explosiveness of Derrick Henry, but yeah, trouble being brought down. A nice pitch here to the right side. Keeps it up. Nice 20, 30-yard gain there for this man. Alrighty. No breakaway speed quite yet of what we're seeing. Here we go. Nice little handoff on the right side, but he stays on his feet, and that's what we love. Delivers a nice blow there. Look at the shoulder he delivers and just kind of runs over this defender. Fantastic work. Boom. Oh, boom. Get down. Woof. Alrighty. Solid run there. All right, another handoff. Patiently waits, dances back inside up the middle. Another 10-yard run there. Alrighty. We want to see a little bit more. We want to see kind of the sheer speed. Bounces out to the right side here. Here we go. Here's the speed. Yes, sir. Alrighty. Right, wide receiver couldn't stay on the block for a little bit longer, but now he's down at the 1-yard line. And there it is. Like we said, I mean, this is too easy. This is some great blocking up front. Let's shout out this North Carolina offensive line, because on the goal line, the defense is getting no push. I mean, this man's going in like untouched right on the 1-yard line every single time. Fantastic work all around. Alrighty, here we go. He's going to be catching a pass here. Here we go. Quarterback steps up, throws it at the last second, and there he is, 20 yards down the field, wide open in the middle of the field. I mean, this quarterback literally waits to the last second. So I'm kind of about this UNC QB a little bit here. I'm kind of liking it. Keeps his eyes down the field, makes the best play at the right time. I mean, let's go back a little bit here. We see the running back instantly going out for a route here. Going to cross right here. It's really not that wide open. You put it right on him. He's not going to, he'll get the 3 yards, but he's not going to get anything after the catch because this man's looking like he's going to bring him down a little bit. So he still waits, steps up in the pocket a little bit, and then delivers it when now he's really wide open. Nobody within 5 yards of this man. So very well done. All righty. Shout out to Howell here. Is this man draft eligible? Because I might be picking him up or something. Might be having to watch his tape. Alrighty, on his own 10-yard line right here. Going out for a pass. Quarterback holds it. Okay. Whoa, alrighty. It is a catch. Gets it right here. It becomes loose when he's on the ground, but he's able to kind of recover it again before it ever touches the ground. So, alrighty, not a great catching ability here. Not going to go up and high point the ball at all. Not great hands either, as we see. It's a lucky catch. I mean, he's able to kind of catch it off of his own body when he's already on the ground, but alrighty. Alrighty, gets the handoff here. Stays on his feet, won't get brought down, and he's able to pick up another seven yards after the contact. Bounces it outside here. Stays on his feet, stays in bounds, won't get brought down, so alrighty. So he doesn't have, breakaway speed like Carter or Michael Carter does. He stays on his feet, which is great. Hard to bring down, but it doesn't result in touchdowns. It's, 5 to 7 yard gains, which is great. We're not knocking that, but of what Najee Harris and Travis Etienne can do. Ooh, here we go. Once again, no just game breaking speed. It's tough. They're all over him. Alrighty. Another just, getting kind of popped right at the line and just keeps going for another 5-7 yards. Once again on the goal line, instantly good there. So he's basically like Michael Carter. I mean, he's getting, 10 to 15 yards every single pop, which is always great. We're not knocking that. That's great production. 10 yards a run is absolutely amazing. But what other players can do, what we've already seen, Michael Carter's looking good, a little bit better than, or Javonte Williams is looking better than Michael Carter, but, Najee Harris and Travis Etienne are looking leaps and bounds ahead of these people. Alrighty. So I think we're good to call it here. I don't know if we need to see really anything else. Let's just fast forward. Let's see what he's doing here against Miami. Here's some good speed, but he's going to get brought down. Yeah, so, I mean, just once again, no real great speed here. And we saw Michael Carter actually kind of outrun everybody in Miami, but Javonte Williams is not really doing so hot out here while trying to outrun everybody. See what he can do here. Yeah, just kind of gets brought down. So, yeah, all right. Solid running back, definitely not going to be taken in the first round, I would say. Definitely not. But solid running back. Solid. Alrighty. Nothing too great from that man. But that's Javonte Williams, folks, running back from North Carolina. If you like him, write your management of the team you like and see if they'll go out and get him. Alrighty. That's going to do it for us today. Let's just quickly see if anything's breaking. Alrighty. Anything good going on here? Jalen Hurts is changing his number to number 1 and not number 2. Alrighty. Alrighty, not really seeing anything breaking here. So we'll be back tomorrow, noon Eastern, doing it all again. Doing what we do here at Takes by Fans. Stories, betting, breaking down the NBA, draft prospects, and whatever comes about. Alrighty, we're out of here, folks. We'll see you tomorrow.